Leo, let's be real, something is about to hit your bank account that will leave you speechless. Not because you didn't work hard for it. Not because you didn't believe it could happen. But because, deep down, you got used to waiting, surviving, pushing, while holding the fire inside. And now, all at once, it's happening. You'll cry with your account balance in hand, not from fear, but because finally, the universe is catching up to the truth of who you are. If you're hearing this, it's not random. You didn't just scroll into this video by accident. You were led here by timing, by alignment, or maybe by that small, restless voice in you that said, something's coming. And this time, it's big. Welcome to Eternal Mindfulness, where energy isn't just talked about, it's felt. And where your zodiac sign is more than entertainment. It's a map. Leo, you already know you're not here to play small. But what's coming in the next 72 hours isn't just money. It's validation. It's breakthrough. It's the moment your soul finally exhales. Now, I'm not here to sell you dreams. I've seen too much, lived through too much, and honestly I know you have, too. That's why this isn't just a reading. It's a confirmation. The financial shift you're about to experience isn't falling from the sky. It's the harvest of every sacrifice you made in silence. Every time you chose to stay kind instead of bitter. Every time you said, I'm fine, when you were barely holding on. Astrologically, the energies right now are no joke. We're seeing powerful activations around wealth, personal value, and long-blocked financial channels finally opening. For Leo, especially, this hits where it matters most: self-worth, recognition, and sustainable abundance. Tarot echoes the same. The Tower, the Sun, and Ace of Pentacles collapse, rebirth, and tangible reward. Everything you built, even the parts you thought were forgotten, are circling back with interest. But this isn't about magical thinking. You've earned what's coming. That's why your reaction won't be shock, it'll be release. Tears, maybe. Gratitude, definitely. And most of all, a deeper sense that you were never overlooked, just being prepared. Let me pause here and thank you for showing up. Truly. Every like, every share, every comment you leave, every time you hit subscribe, that creates more space for voices like this to grow, and it brings us deeper into this soul community. Your presence here fuels this message and makes it possible to keep sharing guidance that actually touches people where they are. So Leo, stick around. What the universe is revealing today isn't small. And I promise, before this video is over, you're going to feel seen, strengthened, and spiritually recharged. There's a reason your intuition pulled you in. This isn't just information, it's a shift. Now tell me honestly, what brought you here today? What in your spirit whispered, click this? Stay here. Listen. Drop it in the comments below. I want to hear from you. And more importantly, I want you to hear yourself. Because if you're ready, truly ready, then say it out loud or type it below. I'm ready to receive. That one sentence, with your full intention behind it, is all it takes to signal the energy that's already moving in your favor. Let's walk through this together, because what's coming next is nothing short of extraordinary. You know, sometimes it's not the fall that shakes us, it's the silence afterward. That space where nothing seems to move, and yet everything inside you is screaming for change. If you're a Leo, this probably hits deep. You've been holding it all together, maybe for too long. Holding your breath financially, emotionally, spiritually, because for a while now, it's felt like something's been stuck. Stuck in the system. Stuck in the cycle. Stuck in the story you didn't write but somehow ended up living. But here's the thing, right now, the heavens aren't just whispering, they're roaring. Astrologically, we're seeing a powerful alignment of Jupiter and Uranus, two giants with very different voices. Jupiter wants to grow, to expand, to bless. Uranus? It wants to disrupt, to shake loose what no longer fits. When these two collide in the areas of career and wealth, especially for a sign like Leo, something profound happens. Old systems crack. The things that once held you back, debt, fear, scarcity mindsets, even outdated beliefs about money or success, begin to crumble. And yes, it can feel chaotic. Like the Tower card in tarot, it might look messy from the outside. But trust me, the collapse is sacred. The Tower isn't destruction for the sake of pain. It's divine clearing. It's the moment a faulty foundation finally gives way, so the new can rise. And with it, the Sun, your card, Leo, reminds you who you are without all the masks, without the weight. The Ace of Pentacles doesn't just show up by accident here either. It's the seed of something tangible. A financial breakthrough that isn't abstract or theoretical, but real. Grounded. In your hands. Maybe even on your phone screen, lighting up your banking app when you least expect it. But here's the part most people miss. This moment didn't just happen. It was earned. Through every quiet yes. Through every time you stayed up late budgeting, sacrificing, choosing hope when you could have chosen resentment. Through the way you kept showing up, even when no one clapped, even when it felt like God had gone quiet. That isn't just resilience, that's sacred obedience. It's alignment. It's sowing seeds of faith in a dry season, and now, finally, the clouds are breaking. Still, I know how this might feel. A part of you is excited. Another part is skeptical. Because when you've lived in survival mode long enough, even miracles make you nervous. You wonder if it's real, if it will last, if it's safe to hope. And that's okay. You're allowed to be cautious. But let me gently remind you, caution is different from fear. And if you're being offered release, it's not your job to question whether you deserve it. It's your job to receive it. The old financial patterns are falling not to punish you, but to free you. That sense of pressure, like you've been pushing against an invisible wall, is lifting. Because something has shifted. You've been heard. And more importantly, you've been remembered. What's unfolding now isn't just about money. It's about reclaiming your power to choose. To breathe without calculating. To say yes without guilt. To move without asking for permission. You've waited long enough. The system that kept you small is no longer sustainable. And whether it was a job, a belief, a relationship, or an internal voice that told you not yet, it's losing its grip. You don't have to force the breakthrough. It's already on the way. And when it lands, you'll know it by the way it makes you feel, lighter. Clearer. Undeniably seen. So let this be your confirmation. Not everything that breaks is bad. Sometimes, it's the only way light gets in. It's strange how life circles back. Just when you think a door has permanently closed, you hear a quiet knock, not from outside, but from within. That's often how divine timing feels. It rarely arrives when you expect it, but when it comes, it speaks with unmistakable clarity. And right now, Leo, the universe isn't sending you one opportunity, it's sending four unexpected openings. Four chances for something long forgotten or long delayed to finally arrive. And if you're listening with your whole being, you'll feel which one is meant for you. Let's start with the first, the revival of something you thought was dead. Maybe it was a business idea you shelved years ago, a court case that dragged on with no conclusion, or a creative project that got lost in the chaos of surviving. Whatever it is, it's rising again like a phoenix from its own ashes. And no, it's not random. In numerology, this aligns with the energy of the number 8, the number of karmic return, material success, and financial flow after a season of drought. Think of it as a return on soul-level investment. What you once poured into with love is being restored in a way that surprises even you. The second pathway is tied to something many of us find hard to wait for: inheritance or legal money. Maybe there's property tangled in family dynamics. Maybe it's a payout, a frozen account, or paperwork that's been sitting in limbo for far too long. The energy around this has felt heavy, like trying to run through water. But now it's shifting. What was stuck is loosening. What was hidden is being brought into the light. The key to this door? Patience and trust. Symbolically, gold, that radiant, royal tone, is your ally here. In color frequency work, golden tones carry the vibration of financial acceleration and clarity. If you've been waiting for closure or release, keep your eyes open. The lock is turning. The third surprise may come wrapped in silence. Something you forgot about: an old investment, a savings account, a stock, even a friend who once borrowed money could surge back into your awareness with a value you didn't anticipate. It may seem like it came out of nowhere, but it didn't. Energetically, this is the gift of belief. Even the belief you didn't realize you were still holding. This is the star card in motion, reminding you that hope, even when dormant, never dies. It simply waits for the right moment to shine again. And then there's the fourth path, the one that comes with a human face. Someone has been watching you. Not in a threatening way, but in quiet admiration. They've seen your strength, your creativity, your commitment, and now, when you're almost too tired to keep pushing, they're ready to step forward with an offer. Not just any offer. The kind that makes you sit up straighter. The kind that aligns with what your soul came here to do. This isn't about chasing opportunity. This is about being recognized by the energy you've already become. Now, none of these scenarios require you to chase or prove. But they do require you to be open. To listen. To pay attention to the subtle tug of your intuition. So ask yourself when you read these, which one made your body lean forward just a little? Which one made your breath catch, even for a second? Let that be your sign. And if you feel it, write it down. Say it out loud. Or drop it in the comments below. Not just for me, but for you. Because the moment you claim what's calling you, the universe gets louder. What you're sensing isn't a maybe, it's momentum. And you're ready to receive. There's something tender and, honestly, a bit tricky about success. Especially when it follows a long season of being overlooked, underestimated, or just plain alone. Because when your energy shifts, when abundance finally starts to flow, when peace and clarity begin to settle into your life, that's often when the past knocks. And not gently. That's what this moment is about. Not just the blessing, but the test that often rides along with it. You see, when your light grows brighter, it doesn't just illuminate the path ahead, it draws attention. And not all of it is pure. Sometimes it calls in shadows, echoes of relationships or patterns that were never meant to walk with you into the next version of yourself. And if you're not grounded, if you're not paying attention, those familiar faces, the ones who couldn't stand beside you when you were struggling, will show up in the glow, pretending they never left. Energetically, this is real. It's part of the law of attraction, but in reverse. When your frequency rises, you become a magnet. That magnetism doesn't discriminate, it pulls in the aligned and the unhealed, the respectful and the opportunistic. And it's your discernment that determines what gets to stay. In astrology, we talk about transits that activate the house of the past, of hidden emotions, of unfinished stories. When those align with powerful growth energy, it's not uncommon for old characters to re-enter. Not to love you better this time, but to reconnect with the newer, shinier version of you, the one they couldn't handle before, but now find strangely compelling. It's not because they've changed. It's because you have. Let's be honest. If someone disappeared when your spirit was in survival mode, when your account balance was a source of anxiety instead of awe, their return now isn't coincidence. It's convenience. You deserve to know the difference. And yes, forgiveness has a place. But so does closure. And repeating old cycles under the illusion of kindness is not healing, it's self-abandonment. This is where emotional maturity comes in. Where self-respect gets to lead. Where your ability to see clearly is more valuable than your desire to be seen. You're not who you were. Your boundaries are different now. Your values, too. And just because someone recognizes your worth today doesn't mean they're entitled to enjoy what they once couldn't even honor. So when the knock comes, and it will, ask yourself this: is this presence nourishing my peace, or reactivating my pain? Are they showing up to build with me, or to borrow what I've built? And most importantly, does this connection still belong to the version of me I'm becoming? Visualize it this way. You're in a house you spent years building with your bare hands. You've finally finished the roof, patched the leaks, warmed the walls. Would you open the door to the very person who once stood outside in the rain and judged your blueprint? Would you let them rearrange the furniture now that it's finally home? You already know the answer. Protect what's sacred. Not just your money, but your energy, your time, your momentum. You've come too far to let a familiar voice drag you back into an outdated script. You're writing a new one now, one where love is safe, energy is mutual, and nothing is taken without being earned. Don't let an old pattern dim the light you fought to ignite. You're not being cold. You're being clear. And clarity is a form of love, too, especially toward yourself. There's something about truth that doesn't always come when you ask for it, but it always arrives when you're ready. You may not be looking for it, or even expecting it, and yet there it is. Slipping through a conversation you weren't meant to hear, a document you accidentally come across, or a detail in someone's words that just doesn't sit right. In the next few days, Leo, you may find yourself holding a piece of information that changes the way you view something or someone important in your life. And while it may come quietly, almost invisibly, it won't be small. This moment is not about confrontation. It's about confirmation. You've likely sensed something was off for a while now, not just with your mind, but with your body. That inner tightening. That subtle resistance. The confusion you brushed aside because it didn't come with evidence. But intuition always speaks before facts do. And now, that knowing is about to be validated in a way you can no longer ignore. What once felt like fog will start to make sense, and everything that felt disjointed will start clicking into place like puzzle pieces falling back where they belong. From an energetic perspective, this isn't just about secrets. It's about alignment. When you raise your frequency, which you've been doing, even if you don't fully realize it, things that don't match your energy anymore naturally begin to reveal themselves. It's not about punishment or drama. It's about clarity. And clarity has a funny way of showing up right when you were about to give someone the benefit of the doubt one last time. Here's the most important part. Your power in this moment is not in reacting. It's in how you choose to respond internally. That's where real transformation happens. Don't rush to act. Don't confront from a place of impulse or emotion. Instead, step back. Observe. Let the truth settle in your system before you speak or decide. Think of yourself like the lion, calm, still, watching, but absolutely aware of everything around it. A lion doesn't roar to prove its strength. It knows its strength is in its presence. From a self-help lens, this is one of those rare moments where holding your peace is an act of radical self-preservation. Silence here isn't suppression. It's strategy. When you sit with the truth quietly, you give yourself space to integrate it, not just react to it. You're not here to prove a point to anyone. You're here to protect your energy, your path, your future. It's easy to think that action equals power, but there's a deeper kind of power in restraint. Especially when it comes from a place of self-respect. You've done too much work to let someone else's story hijack your growth. You've come too far to be dragged into a spiral that only benefits the one who spun it. Instead, let this revelation be a quiet revolution inside you. Let it shift what needs to shift. Let it clarify what you've been avoiding. Let it close the loop. Sometimes, knowing the truth isn't about doing anything with it. It's just about finally being free from the weight of not knowing. And that freedom, that emotional release, might be the very thing that makes room for the next big blessing. If you feel something is already moving in your life, a strange clarity, a strange discomfort, honor that. Don't push it away. You're not imagining it. You're simply beginning to see with more light. And when you see clearly, you act wisely. Let that wisdom lead. Quietly. Strongly. On your terms. You've made it through the tension, the waiting, the reveal, and now here you are, standing at the edge of something that isn't just a financial change. It's a full body, full soul shift. And I need to say this clearly, because most people will only talk about the money. This is not just about what lands in your bank account. It's about who you're becoming in the process of receiving it. Money, in its essence, is energy. And when it flows to you at this level, not from hustling or scarcity, but from deep alignment and readiness, it's not simply a reward, it's a release. You're not being paid back in dollars alone. You're being repaid in choice, in autonomy, in the ability to wake up and ask yourself what you want, not what you can afford. That's a different kind of wealth. And for you, Leo, it's one you've fought silently for years to reach. This shift is sacred. Because the true victory here isn't the deposit. It's the inner knowing that you no longer have to live by the rules your ancestors were trapped in. That scarcity, the need to always be prepared for loss, the habit of shrinking your joy to make room for someone else's comfort, that ends here. You are rewriting your financial lineage. Not just for yourself, but for whoever comes after you. And that is liberation in its most practical, powerful form. In numerology, 2025 opens a new 9-year cycle. It's like planting seeds for the next decade of your life. And the energy you carry into that garden will decide what grows. So before you start spending, ask yourself, what kind of foundation do I want to build now that survival is no longer the goal? What habits, beliefs, and behaviors deserve a permanent place in this new season? This is the time to lead yourself differently. Not with fear, but with quiet confidence. Not rushing to secure everything, but learning to trust your capacity to create again and again. Financial abundance isn't the end game, it's the beginning of living from a place of grounded power. And with that comes responsibility. Take care of your body like it's your first investment, because it is. If you've been running on caffeine and 4 hours of sleep, now's the time to shift that. B vitamins, deep rest, fewer stimulants, more sunlight. Nourish the machine that's carrying you through this expansion. In your financial life, be sharp. This isn't the moment to start handing out loans to prove your worth. You're not responsible for fixing other people's lack of planning. What you are responsible for is learning how to grow what you have not just protected. Learn about investment. Learn about passive income. Learn about the difference between keeping money and multiplying it. Emotionally, it's safe now to express. To share your excitement, your gratitude, even your uncertainty. But you don't owe the world an explanation for your blessings. You've been through enough. Let your joy be full without shrinking it for anyone else's comfort. Some people will misunderstand it. Let them. That's not your assignment anymore. And when it comes to work, if what you do no longer nourishes your spirit, this wealth is not a trap. It's a door. One you can now afford to walk through. One that leads you closer to purpose, not just productivity. You've earned this season, Leo. Not just because you worked hard, but because you never gave up on becoming who you were meant to be, even when it cost you. Let this moment be your proof. The universe didn't forget you. It was preparing you. And now that it's here, walk forward boldly. Not as someone who got lucky, but as someone who finally aligned with the life they always deserved. So here we are, Leo. Not at the end, really, but at the beginning of something far more aligned with who you truly are. If your heart is beating just a little faster right now, if something inside you feels cracked open in the best way, then you've already felt it. The shift has begun. You're not waiting for abundance to arrive. You're meeting it halfway. With every decision to believe again, to try again, to stay open even after all the disappointments you've been calling this breakthrough in. And now it's close enough to touch. This is your moment to choose how you show up in your own life. Not based on who you used to be. Not based on what you were taught to fear. But from a place of calm, clear knowing, I am not here to shrink. I am not here to repeat. I am here to rise and receive. So ask yourself honestly. What parts of your past are you finally ready to leave behind? What new habits, what new beliefs, what new identity are you stepping into as the next version of you unfolds? And when the wealth, the recognition, the support arrive, will you be ready to live like someone who deserves it? You don't need anyone to hand you permission anymore. You already have it. All that's left is to walk it out. Keep your eyes open. The signs are showing. The opportunities are forming. And the version of you that once doubted whether this kind of life was even possible? That version is already dissolving. If anything in this video touched your heart, if even one sentence made you pause, breathe deeper, or feel something real, then I invite you to claim that shift right now. Take a moment and comment below. Let me know, what sign has shown up in your life this week? What message are you ready to receive? Say it aloud. Type it out. When you name what you're calling in, you anchor it. That's not just manifestation, that's embodiment. Thank you for sharing this sacred moment with me. For watching, for feeling, for being present with your own journey. Your support, every like, every comment, every time you subscribe helps this channel continue to grow. But more importantly, it creates a ripple. It brings more souls into alignment with the messages they've been waiting for. And trust me, Leo, this is just the beginning. If you're still here, I want you to remember this one thing: you are not behind. You are not late. You are not lacking. You are being prepared. And now, you are being released into the abundance that always had your name on it. This is eternal mindfulness, and I am honored to walk this path with you. I'll see you in the next message, and until then, stay ready. Because your miracle is already on the move.